Namaskar and welcome to Sunset Television. I am Vishal Dahiya and you're watching our show Perspective, where we bring you detailed analysis of key national and international issues. Today we're going to talk about Israel's election results. In today's show, we'll discuss and analyze all aspects of these election results and their impact in Israel, in the region, and its relations with other countries as well. And for more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of experts. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with, we're joined by former Mr. Vijendra Gupta, who is here with us. Welcome, Mr. Gupta. We also have with us Dr. Sreeram Chaulia, foreign affairs expert, and Ms. Aditi Bhaduri is also joining us, founding editor of International Affairs Review. Welcome, Aditi, to you as well. Dr. Chaulia, in your views, how do you analyze this shift which we are looking at and sort of a decisive mandate after 4 long years when we saw, 5 elections, none of the coalitions able to form the government, none of the governments able to, last for more than a year?
Yeah, Vishal, I think people do get tired of these repeated cycles of elections and the instability. So Netanyahu read the pulse. He's actually a master strategist when it comes to appealing to his core base. And the turnout that he ensured, both for Likud and the extended right coalition, actually won them this election. They had struggled in the past to pass the magic number of 60, but they could do it because they could mobilize their core constituencies. So ideological purity and clarity in times of increasing insecurity, as Ambassador was saying. The violence in the West Bank and in Jerusalem has been growing like anything. And there is also the security outlook of Israel is always about how to counter Iran and Iranian influence in the region. And because the Americans have been talking to the Iranians and trying to bring them back to the table for the nuclear deal and all that, the Israelis are very insecure. And whenever there's insecurity, nobody like Netanyahu to exploit that, to his political advantage. So I think the center left and the Arab parties and the incumbent government could not really answer to those insecurities of the Israeli people. Okay. There's also the law and order issue. There were major ethnic riots, some time ago between Israeli Arabs and Israeli Jews. So I think that polarization is extreme, and it's in that kind of moment when a wily politician like Netanyahu, who is probably, if a cat has 9 lives, then Netanyahu has 10 lives. He keeps making comebacks. And the way he can also hold the flock together, because he's got a coalition too, a very large group, which often disagree among each other. They're a divided lot. But still, I think, and he's got a corruption case against him. But nonetheless, one thing we have to, give credit where it's due is that ultra-nationalist appeal. In a time of crisis, Netanyahu could put that together, message it strategically, and manage to get the votes in. Okay.
Dr. Chaulia, when we're talking about relations with India, as Mr. Gupta also pointed out, we've shared a very wonderful relation. But in terms of takeaways, one, the personal rapport, of course, that will have some impact. Two is the political stability in any country does lead to a bit more, focused approach on relations with other nations. And that is where Israel-India cooperation in various sectors might also get a fillip here. Are we looking at that aspect?
Yeah, if we are talking of two democracies, stability and continuity of a regime does help to advance relationships rather than repeated cycles and ruptures and turnovers of power. So, Naftali Bennett was supposed to, the Prime Minister before Yair Lapid was supposed to visit India, and even that could not happen. So, and frankly, these coalition governments which are very unwieldy, very narrowly ruling with the 1-seat majority in the Knesset and all that, they were always looking out for survival. They could not really take longer term decisions and about, broader strategic decisions. So, of course, at the level of counter-terrorism and intelligence sharing and defense cooperation, agriculture, India, Israel, we are doing a lot. But if Netanyahu brings together a stable coalition, and he's 73 now, he will want to be looking for his legacy also. He's already completed 10 years in power. This could be his last stint. He will want to, leave a mark. He wants to normalize Israel worldwide. He wants more countries to recognize Israel and to break the taboo of the past, where there were many who considered Israel's existence as illegitimate. So he will continue to look for Asia, especially India and to a lesser extent China, to be able to make the point that Israel is legitimate, fully accepted, and the right to existence of the state of Israel, which is a central point for Netanyahu and for most Israelis in the right, that cannot be challenged. So I think he will look to advance relationships. You mentioned the bromance between Prime Ministers Modi and Bibi Netanyahu. So I think those things will help. And of course, we would not want, we are also supporters of a two-state solution and for the Palestinians, and we continue to believe in that. But if that has been completely crushed, as Ambassador was saying, then the instability may, domestically, even if Israel has a single government running, the region will be in flames,
Okay.
And if the Israel-Iran relationship also gets to a point of all-out proxy war, they already have a proxy war in the whole region, then again, it will have negative repercussions for India, because Iran is also important for us.
Indeed.
So we will want to balance these things, and I think Prime Minister has conveyed to the Israelis many times that, look, our perspective here and from looking from South Asia and our regional issues can vary from what is happening in West Asia. So we agree to disagree. But overall, I think if a stable and long-lasting government comes to Israel, I think we will prefer that. So we have continued negotiation channels with the same ministers, the same officials, rather than this revolving door situation that has caused so much chaos.
Okay, thank you so much, Aditi, and Mr. Gupta and Dr. Chaulia as well for sharing your views and insight with us.